For so long, I literally have waited for years for God to finally redeem me. But what was happening was that I just thought that God could not use me. I thought that He would not allow me to operate in purpose because I've made too many mistakes, because I've missed opportunities, because I failed, because I was in sin, because of all of these different things. It was literally the enemy talking me out of my purpose. Many believers think that they are too far gone. They think that they have been deep in sin, too deep to where God cannot pull them out. They think because they have missed opportunities, they have failed at things, that they cannot still be used by God. And it is a absolute lie from the pits of hell. And I'm so excited to share the truth with you because in Romans 8:1, it literally says, there is no condemnation in Christ Jesus. So God is not condemning us for our wrongdoings, for our shortcomings. In fact, He literally wants to use that. He wants to clean us up and use our past. He wants to use the messiness to reach the lost. He wants to use the failed opportunities and the delays to literally prune us into who He has ordained us to be overall. God doesn't disqualify us because we're imperfect. He still uses imperfect people every single day. There's nobody in this world that is perfect. He is the only true living God that is pure, that is full of perfection. If perfection was literally required, nobody will be used by God. Like, look at all of the disciples in the Bible. Look at Matthew. He was a tax collector, right? Look at Saul. God still used these people, right? There was nobody in the Bible that was perfect that He did not use. And the same thing goes for us. Many times we count ourselves out thinking that we are not good enough, thinking that we're damaged goods, thinking that we are not enough for God to use, for God to literally restore us. The enemy literally wants you stuck in shame because if he could get us to believe that we are not good enough, that we are not qualified for God to use us, that's the one thing that will keep us shrinking back. That's the one thing that will keep us going into these cycles. If the enemy can keep us wallowed in shame, it will distract us and cause us to not move forward in what God is literally calling us to do. Because when we get intertwined with shame, we forget we don't know who we are, right? We don't have truth to stand on, but God is a redeemer. And God is the one that literally will see the sin, will see how we were living, will see how our past was, clean us up and make us new. He wants to use all of that. It doesn't matter what the past looks like. It doesn't matter what people may think or say about us. It doesn't matter what we have done, right? All of those things are casted in the sea of forgetfulness. He has forgiven us, and so we have to forgive ourselves and walk in the truth that God has called us. If we look at Genesis 3, verses 8 through 10, when Adam and Eve sinned, they hid. And so this is what happens when we wallow in shame. We hide, right? We feel like we are damaged goods. We feel like we are not enough. We feel like we can't even be looked at. We feel like God is looking at us like, oh my goodness, why would you do that? Why did you do that, right? But He is literally looking at us with so much compassion. Yes, He might be upset, but He is a loving God and He is a forgiving God. And the same way that He looks at us, we have to look at ourselves and know that we are not our mistakes. We are not our past. We are not the delays, right? We are not what people try to label us as. We are not the disqualifications of the world. We are God's chosen priesthood, a royal priesthood. God literally handpicked us. He has selected us, right? We are His very own, and we have to know who we are in Christ. We have to know that our identity is rooted in Christ, because when we don't know that, we are tossed to and fro. Shame literally causes us to hide, but God calls us out of hiding into relationship with Him. One of the things that God is teaching me in my walk with Him is that identity comes before your assignment. God will literally pull you out of what you have been in, what you are wallowing in, all of the dysfunction, right? Because that's exactly what He did with me. He called me out of the world, He called me out of sin. He literally cleaned me up. He had to get rid of all of the labels, all of the rubbish, all of the shame and guilt that I was wrapped up in, the condemnation that I was wrapped up in, all of that to literally purify me, to make me whole in Him, and so that I can see who I am in Him, so that I can know who I am and whose I am, that I belong to Him and what He has said about me. He had to literally renew my mind, just like Romans 12 and 2, right? He had to transform me. He had to prune me. He had to do a great work in me for me to understand who I am in Him. Because the reason why I was out in sin and doing all of these things of the world is because I did not know who I was. I did not know that I belong to a father that is so loving, that is so caring, that is so kind. I did not know that I was attached to abundance. I did not know that abundance was my birthright. I did not know that I had everything that I would ever need within me. But He had to take me through a process, right? He had to take me through a process. He had to prove me, to show me exactly who I am and what is in me. So allow God to begin a good work in you, just like Philippians 1 and 6 says, He who began a good work in you will carry it out to its completion. So God is working on you. Stop disqualifying yourself. You are more than enough. You are not your past decisions. You are not your past mistakes, right? Allow God to clean you up. Bring everything that you have been holding on to, that has been shaping your identity, that is all lies, that is not true, to the feet of Jesus so that He can remove all of that. He can clean you up and He can show you who you are in Him so you can begin to walk in your divine purpose that He has called you to. This is one of the reasons why we stay stuck for so long, because we don't know who we are in Christ. When we don't know who we are in Christ, we fall for anything because we don't stand for anything. We don't have integrity, right? So we have to begin to know truth and become the truth and allow God to restore us, allow God to renew our minds so that we can step into purpose. We don't have to beg for anything. We don't have to force anything. We don't have to do anything extra of this world to gain anything, because everything that we have ever needed and desire is literally all within us. It's not outside in this world. It's in Christ alone, and He abides in us as we abide in Him. So if God has begun a work in you, do not jump ship. Do not abandon it. God is not abandoning you. He wants to complete that work that He has started in you so you can begin to thrive in purpose. You can begin to live the life that He has ordained you to live. Maybe the biggest obstacle right now between you and your purpose is not your past. Maybe it's just your belief system. Maybe it's that you need to believe more in yourself. You need to know what God has said about you. You need to know what God has already written about you, right? You need to know your assignment in Christ. You need to know who you are in Him. You need to see yourself through the lens of our Father. You have to get rid of the belief that your past has disqualified you, because God has not disqualified you. God has not forgotten about you, and God is not done with you. This is a new beginning for you. And it's okay to start over. It's okay to lay it all down and say, God, you know what? I'm picking up my cross and I'm believing you. It's okay to rededicate yourself back to Christ if you have fell off, if you became lukewarm. It's okay, because God is literally waiting for you to wake up to who you are in Him. And He's not requiring you to do that alone. Literally saying, come to me. Because everything that we ever need, everything that we ever desire, everything that we ever thought that, like this place within us that needed to be fulfilled, He is all of that and more. So I pray that this video has blessed you. I pray that you are encouraged by this video, and stop disqualifying yourself, sis. You are more than enough. Your past does not define you. It's time to step into your purpose and step into what God has called you to be, your authentic self, the healed version of you. So let go of that shame and the dysfunction of your past, because God is calling you forward.